Okay, mornings all. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so I think almost all the participants are joined. Please confirm me whether I think one is remaining. Mayur is joined or not? Mansi?
No, sir. I don't know about him.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So today we are going to start one of the important topic of your path, that is a orchestrator. So orchestrator is a you know unseparable part of your path. Please confirm whether my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So Orchestrator is the core part of UiPath platform where we can manage all the components of a orchestrator, or whatever we are doing, that we can monitor, that we can configure, and that we can deploy. So UiPath Studio is the only thing where we can develop, we can design different projects or different bots, depends on our requirement. But after completion of development, let's see, we are developing one project, and that we are not able to run every day, and we are not having that much employees or resources to run the particular bot and to get your work to be done. So in that case, there should be certain mechanism that will work automatically, and we can schedule the particular task at a given time. For example, we want to do particular task on a every day at a particular time, for example at evening 7 p.m., or if you want to do particular task at a morning 9 o'clock. So these are the different things we can do by using orchestrator. So we can schedule the bot as per our requirements, and we can do our task what we are expecting to do. In consideration of orchestrator is a, you can see, cloud platform. It is also available on premises. So before starting me orchestrator the exactly, we should know the difference between on premise and cloud platform. Whenever you are practicing orchestrator in a community edition, you can find orchestrator is on cloud platform. But in some of the organizations, they are not believing, or they are having security concerns. In that case, they are not using this cloud platform. They are using their on-premise orchestrator. So on-premise orchestrator is the orchestrator where the orchestrator is stored on a particular system of your organization. Means all the security concerns are managed by the organization where your orchestrator is deployed. In on cloud platform, you can do whatever you want to do in on premises. Means the working methodology, if you could see, both are the same. The only the thing is, depends on the security concerns, you can use either on-premise orchestrator or cloud platform. So depends on the organization structure, depends on the requirements. For example, if you are working on most of the banking related transactions, in that case, most of the organizations are preferring to use on-premise orchestrator. And if you have normal tasks to do, where the information is not sharing with any of the third party resources, in that case you can use on cloud platform. So that is important thing about orchestrator. Then what today we are going to see, today we are going to start, already you are aware of the UiPath Studio. So how we can connect that UiPath Studio with orchestrator? In initial session, already you have started UiPath Studio through cloud platforms only. So after login into orchestrator, you downloaded your UiPath Studio, and from there you started your development in UiPath Studio. So initially you already aware of this orchestrator, but after development is completed, what is your next next step that you can do. So that is connection of your UiPath Studio with Orchestrator. Because whenever we are scheduling your particular task, that you are scheduling through Orchestrator only. You let's see, you are developing one bot, and after development there is no any existence of a studio in your production environment. So I think you are aware of the different environments. Please confirm, are you aware of the different environments in industry? You let me tell what is your opinion. Are you aware of the environments in industry?
Sir, can you just share?
Yeah, sure, thank you. So whenever we are having some, let's see, we want to develop one process, and that process, that user is expecting to do certain automations. Now whenever you are thinking to develop any process, in that case, first environment that you could see, that is a development environment. So in development environment, you should use your UiPath Studio. You can just create your process, you can just drag and drop your workflows, you can drag and drop activities, and whatever task you want to do, that you can do. So that is a simple development that you are doing by using like UiPath Studio, and whatever the activities available with the UiPath Studio. Now what happens, whenever any process you are going to develop in development environment, the same applications is deployed. For example, let's see, Acme application, already we have gone through Acme web application. So in Acme, the application in UAT or testing environment is different, and Acme in a development environment is different in terms of the content, not a behavior. Content means in testing or in production environment. Before going to testing and production, let me tell about development environment. So in development environment, whatever your requirements, let's see, business is telling you to automate your Excel application through any application. Let's see, UiPath Acme is one of the application that you want to automate. So in development environment, you should have a credentials for that Acme application, and that credentials are limited for only development, because there is only testing data, not real data is available. So in development environment, you are developing the project, but that is working on only for very less amount of data, that is a testing data. So as you are successful in your development environment, for example, whatever you have developed, that is working fine with the Acme application in a development environment, then you are moving to the next environment, that is a testing environment. Usually this environment is called as testing or UAT environment. So in UAT environment, again you have a same application, but in testing, sometimes you can refer the same, like a development application, or there might be different version of the application. Most of times it is used a development. So in testing environment, you can use development environments credentials or applications, but the testing data for your UAT environment is most of times real data. Sometimes they may say, they may ask you to share test with same development data, but if you want to see how it is actually working in production, in testing environment, the same data can be sent or share with you. So that is second environment, where you can have only only orchestrator, UiPath assistant. There is no any studio available in testing. Sometimes they may have, but most of times you just feel that only UiPath Studio is available with development environment. UiPath Studio is not available in production environment. There is only UiPath Explorer and Robot or UiPath Assistant, which is available in production environment. So whatever you are doing, you can't see exactly how means how you have designed the workflow, or other things you can't see in production. In production only you can just work with whatever you have a task. So in production, the real data that you can understand the meaning of production. Productions means whatever you are doing that is reflecting with the user's data, means real data you are interacting with. So if you are successful in development environment, if you are successful in a testing environment, then only you could send the particular workflow or particular bot in a production environment. In production environment, you can just schedule the bot, and whatever the process you are scheduled, that should work fine. If there is any issue or your selectors are not working in production, then in production we have a UI explorer only to check what are the selectors available in production. Because in production we don't have UiPath Studio. If there is any issue in UiPath related to any selectors in production, then we can just check by using UI Explorer. Just copy that selectors and come to the UiPath development environment. Sorry, come to development environment. Check with UiPath Studio what is wrong there. If is there any mismatch of selectors, you can correct those selectors in UiPath Studio. And if it's working in UiPath Studio well, then you can again go to the testing and production. So you are just switching between these three environments: development environment, UAT environment, and third one is a production environment. Now, whenever you are developing any process, you should test throughout, and that whatever you are doing in a production, that you should do in a development environment. And as already discussed, we are using Orchestrator to monitor the process. We are using Orchestrator to deploy our process. So everything is done in Orchestrator only. Till development, your UiPath Studio comes in existence. After completion of development, your Orchestrator is responsible to handle your all tasks, to monitor your bot, to check what is the status, what are the logs, what is the failure. Everything we can check by using Orchestrator. So this is a very important component of UiPath. So basically, I think in first session you might heard that there are three different components of UiPath. First one is a UiPath Studio, second one is a UiPath Orchestrator, and third one is a UiPath Robot. So Robot is the responsible to run your process. That is already you have seen. Now in today's session, I'm just explaining you or just demonstrating how you can connect your Orchestrator with your UiPath Studio. So already I told, whenever you are completing your development, you are just dealing with Orchestrator. So please confirm me how many of you have installed or having Orchestrator with you. Do you have Orchestrator with you? Means my question may be a little bit different. Have you logged into cloud.uipath.platform?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So initially, while downloading your UiPath Studio, you have gone through this UiPath Orchestrator. So here initially, please confirm me my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So here initially you can find your Studio setup here. Here you have click the download UiPath Studio, and then you have downloaded your UiPath Studio. Now already you have downloaded UiPath Studio. You have a UiPath Studio with you, and you are good with UiPath Studio. From my point of view, you can design your workflow. You can automate whatever process you want to do by using different applications. If you want to automate Excel, then you can. If you want to automate any web application, you can. If you want to automate PDF, that is also possible from your side. Are you good with all these automations? If you are good, then only we can move towards the Orchestrator, because Orchestrator and RE, that is Robotic Enterprise Framework, these are the advanced concepts. These are actually used in an industry. That's why until and unless you are not good with initial concepts like Excel automation, PDF automation, web automation, or initial some variable concepts, if you are good with all these things, then only we can move towards this Orchestrator. Okay, so in Orchestrator, I think you are all good. So whenever you are coming to this Orchestrator, you have this different, from last 3 years, UiPath is actually started development of automations from last 4 years. That is in 2017, UiPath starts automating different steps. So in 2018 and 19, there were different automations there are different versions of Orchestrator coming, and every day there is certain changes in Orchestrator. They are just modifying, or they are just customizing according to the customer's needs. That's why you can find a different changes. If you could see different UiPath related uh, uh, you know documents, or any steps related to UiPath Orchestrator, there are different versions. There are different versions available with the UiPath Orchestrator. Initially, the structure of this Orchestrator were different. Like you can find home at this top side, or actions top side. Then there are some components are extracted, distracted. They are customized in different ways. But if you right now go to your Orchestrator, and if you could see, this is the current UiPath Orchestrator structure. You can find home at top side, then Orchestrator, then actions, apps, process, and admin. So initially, if you are starting to configure your Orchestrator today, then you should go in admin. If you want to do with me, then you can please. Anybody is doing with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can just see there are is anybody who is having different options from this screen? Same your Orchestrator with GUI you are finding, or any different? Please confirm.
Same, sir.
Yeah, because if you are using this Orchestrator from 2019, and if you are just customizing 2019's Orchestrator, then there are different components for that UiPath Orchestrator 2019. In 2019, there was environment concepts, but in 2021, we have a modern folder concept. So in modern folder concept, we have a different configuration, and in 2090s, that is a environment, that is a different concept. So if you have a same screen, then only you can work with me and try to get latest version of Orchestrator. I think you are same, you are having same version. Okay, so in admin, you can see already I have added my tenant, but if you are doing first time, then you can find add a tenant button there. Yes. What is a tenant? Basically, tenant is like a organizational structure. For example, if you have, let's say you have purchased Orchestrator, and you have 10 different 10 different departments in your organization. For example, financial department, then purchase department, then IT department. So there are different departments in your organization. So according to department, you can customize your bots. So if you have 10 departments, then you can take 10 tenants. Since we are using community edition, you can find only one tenants here. So here you have a you can see my add tenant button is a disabled, because we have a only one tenants available with community edition. If you want to add more tenants, then we need to take enterprise editions, or we need to just purchase licenses for that. So tenant is just organizational structure where we can just configure number of bots, depends on our departments. Here I have taken only one, and we are allowed to only one tenant over here. Any doubts till now?
No, sir.
Okay. Then after adding tenants, you can see you need to configure your licenses. In community edition, we have three different bots available. One is unattended and two to our unattended. To our attended, and one is unattended. Attended may be testing or data service units. Initially, these two different robots were actually categorized in attended bot, but right now it is differentiated. So whenever you are working with orchestrator, most of times you are dealing with unattended bots only. So that is actually requirement, since we are working for scheduling task, we are using unattended bot. So that is very important. Whenever you are adding new tenant, or whenever you are configuring your new tenant, you just specify unattended robot 1, testing 1, data service. You just need to specify the count. So that is the only one time setting. If you have done, then that is okay. Have you done this one? Have you done? Just a second.
Sir, it is by default. Hello.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, please ask. I think you have doubt. Satish, you have doubt, please. Yeah,
Sir,
please.
it is by default showing.
uh Sometimes it is showing by default, but I think we need to configure, because already I have configured it, you can see. But if you are doing first time, you need to specify 0 1 111 is available by default, but you need to configure. Sometimes I'm not able to show you, since I have already added, and some bots are already deployed, so I can't delete this one. If I delete, then my bots will be disappeared. So that's why I'm not able to do. But initially you need to configure, you need to add a 111 like that.
Okay.
Okay, this is one time setting. If you could do, then your tenant is ready to automate the new task. Okay, then you can see where I'm going, because this navigation is very important. Whatever I am doing first time, that is only in admin. Afterwards, no need to go in admin. After you are completing this admin task, then you should not go any times in this admin button. You should only deal with this orchestrator and processes sometimes. If you want to develop any application or UiPath application, then you can click on this apps, but you should only work with this orchestrator. And in processes, you can just see the structure, how many processes are there, what is the status of the process. Only just analysis you can find in process, but only you should deal with this orchestrator only. So whenever I'm clicking on this orchestrator, this is, you need to work on this components. So just remember that whenever you are working, initially you can find home screen, and home screen, all the tabs are available, like orchestrator, actions, apps, process, and admins. Most of times you may confuse, so that's why I'm telling again and again. You just click only on orchestrator, and in orchestrator only you need to do everything. Okay, now initially there were different concepts like environments, robots, and etc. Right now also there is concepts of environment, but little bit in a different manner. Now if you want to connect your UiPath Studio to orchestrator, this orchestrator, what things you should remember? So first thing that you should remember, after installing UiPath Studio, you can find UiPath Assistant in your system. Okay, so in UiPath Assistant, you can find this preferences option. You can find this dot, then this preferences option. Just click on that option, and you can click on preferences. In preferences, you have an orchestrator setting. So these orchestrator setting we should do at last. You should get all these fields at last whenever you are connecting your bot. Now, first step that you should do, that is a just click on tenant. You can see after clicking on orchestrator, you should click on tenant, and after clicking on tenant, you can see machine tab. So first thing that you should do, that is a adding machine in your orchestrator. Machine means where you are doing your task, in which system you are doing your task. So click on that machine and you can add a machine. So already I have added one machine and some bots are deployed to that machine. I'm not adding, I'm just showing you how we can add. There are two different types of machines. First one is a machine template and second one is a standard machine. So what is difference between standard machine and machine template? Whenever you are having same machines or same bots, whenever you have a same bots and same machines, in that case you can use standard machine. If you have customized bots every time, then you can use a machine template. Right now I should select standard machine. I'm not going in deep because you may confuse. Now here you should give specific name of your machine. So machine name, from here you'll get machine name. To get machine name, you should go to your, already I told you, in preferences you can find the details. So machine name you can find in a second. Let me disconnect. You can see this is the machine name. After clicking on UiPath Assistant, you can find this. There may be two options like service URL and machine key. You should always connect with machine key, and this is the machine name you can find. Just copy this machine name as it is. The machine name should be as it is. There should not be any spelling mistake or anything else. So just copy and you can just normally create. This is not, you can just put one unattended license, one testing license, that you can put, depends on your requirement, but it is not mandatory. You can just directly give provision. Understood what I'm doing here? I'm just adding machine name. That is the only step I'm doing, and from where I'm getting machine name here. Sometimes some of the candidates make just type desktop dash, there might be some mistakes, so don't type, you just copy the same machine name. So first task you understood, right? First task, that is you should click on tenant, then go to the machines, add new machine and just put the name of your machine. Understood? First step.
Yes, sir.
In second thing, you should go in a folders. In a folders, actually initially there was different concepts of environments. Right now we have different concept, that is a creation of folders and managing your robots in your particular folder. So in folders you can find manage folder, and here click on new folder. So let's see, I have created, let's say I want to create RPA batch 2. So whatever folder name you want to give, you can put. There is no any restriction of name. Let's click on this create. Okay. If you are not, afterwards you might miss some points. So you just click, or you can note somewhere. In folders, we are creating new folders by using managed folders. After creating folder, which folder we have created? RPA batch. There are two different settings. You can see here, there are two different levels of folder. at my folder section you can find, and here also you find, but you always go in folders of your tenants, and then you should go in manage folder and click folder whatever you have created. So RPA batch we have created. Here you can find two different tabs. First one is a machine, second one is a user. So in machine you can create or manage your machine. Most of times we are managing machines here. So just click on manage machine, and you can see whatever machine we have already added. You can just click on that particular machine and update here. Only one task you need to do in machines. Then after doing this one, go to the users. In users you can find by default certain settings is there, but since if you want to unattended, you just edit that setting. So after clicking on user, you just click on these three dots and click on edit. So after clicking on edit, you could see this GUI where you can find different settings for your bot. So these are the different roles that your bot should do, like tenant administrator, all out to folder administrator, etc. There are different roles. If you want to add, you can add, but right now no need to add. Just click on next. Then here you can find unattended bot. You want unattended bot, so you should enable. Sometimes by default it is disabled, so you should enable. Then since we don't have password, since we are using Windows credentials, by default we don't have any Windows credentials, so keep blank. If you have password to your system, then you can put that one. Otherwise you can just keep at blank and just update. So after doing that, your robot is configured. So two things we have configured. First one is a machine. We are configuring machine at a tenant level. Then we are customizing or configuring our robot at folder level. For that we are creating folder, and in folder we are configuring, first adding machine, and second thing we are adding users. Understood? Any doubt? These two things you are clear. So if this is done, then you should go to the UiPath assistant or a orchestrator setting. Here you should put the URL. URL means your orchestrator URL, which is available till default. You can just copy default tenant, name of your tenant, then default tenant, orchestrator. You just copy that one and just put in. I have different tenants, so I have already created that one. And then second thing you should copy, that is a machine key. Again, go to the tenant, machines, copy this machine key by clicking on that tabs. Come here and put Control V and connect. Okay, understood? These are the settings you should do to connect your UiPath Studio to Orchestrator. Any doubts till now? We have 2 minutes in this session. No doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, you try to connect your UiPath Orchestrator to your UiPath Studio, and if you are you are facing any difficulties, then please reach out to us. We can help you to connect your UiPath Studio to the Orchestrator, because this is very important and crucial part of UiPath learning. If you could able to connect this UiPath Studio to Orchestrator, we can run your process from Orchestrator. Okay, so let's start with the next step, that we want to publish our UiPath Studios task in Orchestrator, and from Orchestrator we should able to run the particular process that is deployed to the orchestrator. Till now you are good, I think.
Sir, how to take orchestrator URL?
You can just directly copy from here. Yes, you can just
Okay, okay, sir.
select and just click copy. Very
Okay, sir.
simple.
Okay.
Okay, let's connect within 30 second. Same URL will be there for connecting your next session. For recording purpose, I am using Zoom. Okay, please reconnect immediately. Okay, sure. Thank you.